A Russian envoy to the United Nations says it is impossible for his country to win a war in Ukraine unless Bakhmut, an industrial city in the Donbass, is captured by President Vladimir Putin. Bakhmut, in the eastern Donetsk region, was the focal point of the war for half a year. The Russian military, led by the Wagner Group, has concentrated its assault on the city, hoping to seize it. So far, however, Moscow has failed to make any significant headway on Bakhmut. Meanwhile, in waging war, Putin said one of his main goals was to liberate the Donbas, a separatist region in southeastern Ukraine that has linguistic links with Russia. "I know that there is no way to liberate Donbas without arresting Bakhmut, and I know that liberating Donbas is one of the tasks of our military operation," said Polyansky. Russian diplomats described the war-torn city as a stronghold that was part of a heavily fortified defensive line. "This is not just a simple city. It is a city with long underground tunnels and fortifications," he said. "That's why it's so difficult to take this fortress, but I'm sure we will." John Rosenbeek, a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Cambridge, previously said taking the city would be symbolic for Russia, as it would allow Putin to show some form of military victory. If captured, it would be Russia's first major battlefield gain since the summer of 2022. Rosenbeek says Bakhmut itself doesn't have much strategic value, but its location does. He explained that taking Bakhmut would allow Putin's troops to launch artillery strikes on key points, such as the cities of Kramatorsk and Sloviansk in the Donetsk region. Jaroslava Barbieri, doctoral researcher in Russian foreign policy at the University of Birmingham, also has the same view. He said the city was of more symbolic, rather than strategic military importance. Taking control of Bakhmut is a desperate attempt to send a message that Russia is making incremental gains and can still win in Ukraine, he said. The grueling battle for the city and intensifying clashes between Russian and Ukrainian forces have left Bakhmut, which had a pre-war population of 70,000. According to Ukrainska Pravda, 90% of Bakhmut's residents have fled, with 8,000 people being subjected to fire every day as a result of the war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has vowed to defend Bakhmut for as long as his troops are able. "No one will give Bakhmut. We will fight as long as we can. We consider Bakhmut as our stronghold," he said. The region certainly has some facts and reasons that make Russia want Bakhmut. Here are 5 facts about the city of Bakhmut from Ukraine that Russia really wants. 1. The city of Bakhmut becomes a strategic military destination. Michael Kaufman, director of Russian studies at the U.S.-based Center for Naval Analysis, said Bakhmut represented a gateway to Sloviansk and Kramatorsk, 2 important Ukrainian industrial hubs in the energy-rich Donbass region. Slanchev said Bakhmut was an important transportation hub. Many supply lines went through Bakhmut and Russia could use it as a base. Bakhmut is also pretty well fortified, so taking it back will be difficult. 2. Natural resources in Bakhmut city. Before the Russian invasion, Bakhmut had a population of 70,000 people, which was known for its salt mines and as a transportation hub. Gradually, Russia needs that industrial output while trying to deprive Ukraine of natural resources and the economy. The city of Bakhmut has extensive salt deposits and other mines in the area, which contain more than 100 miles of tunnels and extensive underground chambers. An expert named Slanchev said taking Bakhmut would be a tremendous morale boost for Russia's war effort, and would also create difficulties for Ukraine in the settlement across from Donetsk. 3. Bakhmut becomes an important battle in the war. Gregory Simons, professor at the Institute of Russian and Eurasian Studies at Uppsala University, also believes Bakhmut may be a pivotal battle in the war. Experts also agree Bakhmut's arrest has the potential to change the course of the conflict and provide Russia with a platform to launch a broader campaign in many parts of Ukraine. The city of Bakhmut in the Donetsk region was strategically important for the war, but also important as Russia attempted to score a rare military victory with heavy casualties. 4. Battle of Bakhmut, one of the highest casualties of the 21st century. The Battle of Bakhmut has been described as one of the bloodiest battles of the 21st century. The fields and villages around Bakhmut were filled with foxholes and full of soldiers. With very high casualties, costly ground assaults, volunteers, media and government officials alike compared the fighting for Bakhmut to battlefield conditions on the Western Front of World War I. On 11 January 2023, Presidential Advisor to Ukraine Mikhailo Podolyak described the fighting in Bakhmut and Soledar as the bloodiest since the start of the invasion. 5. The city of Bakhmut has now turned into a ghost city. The war that took place between Russia and Ukraine resulted in many victims. Russia is targeting to destroy significant parts of most of the energy infrastructure. One of them is Bakhmut city. The winter had become very harsh for both sides. The Russians will lose 50 to 70 soldiers every day at Bakhmut. The other victims, as well as some of those who survived, were mostly parents. They live without running water or electricity. Most of the townspeople have left Bakhmut.